Hi friends, today I want to do a quick recap video of the last Abraham-Hicks cruise that I attended with my husband. It was Caribbean cruise, 10-day Caribbean cruise. And I want to share some highlights and also my hot seat experience on that cruise. So my personal highlight, it wasn't the ship, although the ship was amazing. The crew is amazing on the ship. They do their absolute best to keep all 2,800 passengers as happy as possible. It wasn't the islands, although there were two islands that I really liked and I wanted to go back and explore more. It was Dominica and St. Lucia. It wasn't even the workshops, although the workshops are always amazing, always expansive, um, and just beautiful experience. But my personal highlight was connecting with people. There were, I think, 800 people, 800 or 900 people that came to the workshop. So a big crowd. And we knew some of them. We met a lot of new people. And what I love most is that they were all like, beautiful energy, fun-loving people, deep, and there was almost no small talk. Like every conversation, even if it was a person that we just met for the first time, almost every conversation like immediately went deep, and we were talking spirituality and energy and metaphysics and all these, topics that all these people are fascinated about. It was like abundance of yummy, satisfying conversations. So this was my highlight from that trip. And now my hot seat experience. My question that I had to Abraham was inspired by a friend who was in a hot seat on the second day, on the second workshop, and she asked a question about um, experiences or trauma or emotions being held in the body. To which Abraham said that there is no such thing, that nothing is held in the body. It's all vibrations. And when with this quick answer, my friend kind of continued conversation on a slightly different topic, but my mind like what like, wanted to know more. Like, what the heck did I just hear? And I wanted to know because when I work with people, when I work with clients, how I share about my work is that I help them release emotions, negative emotions, or like some, stuck old energy and process that needs to be released. And this is what we're doing when we calibrate. And I had 5 days, so that there was the second day of the workshop, and then we had 5 days on islands, and 4 days are just exploring islands, no workshops on those days, and then 2 more days of workshops at the end on the way back to Florida. So I had 5 days to like chew on this topic just on my own and receive my answers. And and the clarity that I received was that what Abraham calls vibration, we call emotions, but emotions are vibrations, emotions are energy, emotions is energy in motion, and basically we're talking about the same thing, but just using different semantics. And for people, I think it's easier, some people, maybe not Abers necessarily, but it's easier to understand what it means to release emotion, but versus what it means to change vibration. Like, this is not yet like a super familiar concept to a lot of people. And I was also reading an amazing book. It was my second time reading this book, The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. And I was on chapter 6 in that book, like Beautiful Synchronicity, because this was exactly what that chapter was about. It was answering my question, what it is that is being released. And if you haven't read that book, I strongly recommend entire book. It's brilliant. Um, so before I ended up in the hot seat, I already had my answers. And I think this made it like the best possible state for me to end up on the stage, because I still had a strong desire to talk to Abraham and hear their perspective, but I had a very low attachment to anything actually unfolding. Like, if I'm not there, it's fine too. And I also knew that a lot of other people wanted to know more about this topic, because both the friend that asked the original question told me that a lot of people came up to her and like they didn't understand like what did Abraham mean exactly that nothing is held. So I thought like, okay, if it's not me, somebody else, it will be continued, and if it's not continued, I'm fine too. So I think because I was like really chill, I ended up in that hot seat, because I ended up in the hot seat, asked my questions, like what it is that we're doing in calibration if it's not releasing emotions. And they said that what I do, they use this phrase that I'm distracting people from thoughts that are holding them in a low vibration, and that I'm helping them focus differently. And this is what I do. Like we move away from the thought and into sensations in the body. But somehow I just wasn't fully getting this answer. Like, it still wasn't clear to me. So I continued with a question about emotion code. This is a different modality that I've just started playing with and getting amazing results. And actually, I asked about the case of our dog who was for 10 years aggressive towards visitors that, we would come to our house. And after doing these releasing these trapped emotions using emotion code process from the dog, I probably released about 40 plus emotions from him. He's calm and he's not aggressive anymore. So like, what happened? I wanted Abraham to explain, to me. And they said that what happened is that my vibration must have changed first around this topic and around our dog. And the dog who wants to please me kind of went with it, and now that's why he's different, which didn't resonate with me. This answer didn't resonate. Like, I don't feel that this is what happened. Um, and then was the end of the segment, and that was it. So the bottom line is, it was awesome to have this conversation, but I finished very like, I wasn't satisfied fully. It was a little bit frustration there. Um, and very quickly, I realized that this was actually a perfect experience for me, because like, perfect experience considering where I am right now in my journey, because I realized that what I wanted was to receive a validation from Abraham that how I think is the right way of thinking, and I didn't receive it. And I understood that actually I don't need this validation, that whatever that I have my own discernment, and whatever I feel is true for me, that's enough. Uh, so that was big. That was big. And yeah, so that's my, and they did admit that it's a good process, that whatever I'm using, they said like, this is a good process. We would use a focus wheel, but your process is good too. And that was actually another aha moment, because it wasn't a question, but somewhere on, during a workshop was shared that Esther uses her processes sometimes 10 times a day. And this was like, wow, Esther, she's been channeling Abraham for probably almost 40 years. and she still uses the processes that Abraham teaches, and she still needs to have tools, sometimes 10 times a day, to help her get into a better feeling place. And we sometimes beat ourselves up that, like, wow, I'm not as happy as I should be. Like, again, I feel this crappy feeling, like, what the heck? And like, no, it's normal. It's all human. Every emotion is allowed. Every emotion is safe to feel. And it's awesome to have, whatever tools that work um, for us, for you, to use them. And all is well, always. A lot of people came later and shared that they got a lot from my interaction. So yay, wonderful. Um, and yeah, that's it. So this is my recap. If you, I hope you lasted this long. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. You can either leave a comment or contact me through Instagram or Facebook. I would love to hear from you. And thank you for watching. See you next time.